UMR poll result, which emerged today, had National taking a drop to 42, down 5 points. The Greens up 3 to 15, and New Zealand First up 5 points to 16%. We're joined now by New Zealand First leader Winston Peters. You there, Mr. Peters?
Good evening.
Good evening. You are in the UMR at 16%. What is your own polling telling you?
Well, something similar, yes.
Okay. Can we clarify the process of negotiation for New Zealand First after the election? Who would you talk to first? It has always been your custom to talk to the party with the most votes at the outset. Is that still the case?
Well, look, being practical, you have to look at the results as a party with all your colleagues, both members of Parliament and members of the board, and form a structure of what you're going to do now, given what you've campaigned on, and bearing that what you've campaigned on is paramount. So when you talk about, in the first instance, talking to parties with serious numbers, well, of course that happens. But that's just a matter of common sense in the first instance.
Okay, what are you campaigning on? What is the most important thing for New Zealand First when you go into coalition discussions after the election?
The most paramount thing for New Zealand First, it's in our name. We've seen for 33 years where the interests of this country and its sovereignty have been not the primary thing in the mind of parliamentarians, but a blind ideology, which after 33 years we know doesn't work.
Okay, in policy terms, what do you want?
Well, in policy terms, we want a country to be restored to its place in the world economically, which we once, for long periods of time, used to occupy. That is a country that was envy of the rest of the world, and we still have got the capacity to do that, but not with the present policies.
Okay, so what policies do you think will make a difference? What will you say to National? What do you want?
Well, there's nothing so sort of, how shall I put it, concertina. You could just do it in this interview with you now, but let me tell you the flavour of it.
Give me an example. Give me one thing. Give me one thing.
I'll give you an example. Exports are declining, not rising. The government's been talking about $62 billion of exports by 2025, and it's going up now at less than 1%. So all of these things are being put out with tremendous sort of Goebbels-like propaganda, but none of that's the reality. And take housing. Just comes out from Auckland City Council today that we're going at less than 7,000 when they need 14,000. Now, that's not what the public's been told. In Parliament or outside of it, there's just been a plethora of propaganda, and reality is different. We want the reality to be the performance which our country could be proud of, and we are stating it out there in the provinces and regions because we know that out there the chance of us creating real wealth offshore to bring home to the family in New Zealand is what our campaign's about.
Can you work with both sides? Can you work with National, and can you work with Labour and the Greens?
Look, I've got to say I regret this, not your question, but the shape of this campaign, because a whole lot of parties are out there making claims about their capacity to be the government. They have never spoken to us. They've never ever had these agreements which they keep telling the public they've got, and it's simply false. We're in a battle for a dramatic economic and social change of this country. We're not in a battle to continue the same thing merely for power.
Okay.
And I want to make that very, very clear.
Okay, so you haven't. So there have been no formal approaches to you, although you often say when there are approaches, hey, let's wait and see how the cards are fallen after election night. Theoretically, can you work with National, and can you work with Labour and the Greens?
We cannot work with either of those combinations if they intend to carry on with a few tweaks with the present economic and social policy. We want a dramatic change. We know what our country is capable of. We look at countries like Singapore, Scandinavia, and dare I say it, at Australia, which everyone's scoffing at. But Australia has done far better than us over the last 30 years. And we want there to be some accountability and a dramatic change in where we are going as a country, so we use our resources for New Zealanders. What we got here, we've got 226,000 people with work visas. We've got record 73,000 net immigrants coming in. We've got massive offshore ownership. We have to stop what's going on here so we take control of our lives and of our country. And out there in New Zealand, I tell you something, New Zealanders want control back of their lives. They're sick of just working flat out, paying taxes and treading water.
One final question. What do you want?
What I want, I can tell you now bluntly, we cannot do anything for this country without we don't maximise our votes to the hilt, and I want the best outcome New Zealand First has ever had as a political party in our 24 years.
Right, and what does that mean for you? Where do you want to be?
Well, it means for New Zealand First, and we want to be...
No, for you. No, for you personally. And I'm going to press you on this. Where do you want to be sitting?
I want to be talking to you on election night at about 8:15. I explain to you why there is a dramatic change guaranteed now to happen. That's where I want to be.
Do you want to be Prime Minister?
You know, I have never run for any job apart from being an MP in my whole career.
Winston Peters joining us live on the phone.